I agree.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Today I'm going to talk about ASMR, autonomous sensory meridian response. It was really going to be called, originally going to be called autonomous sensory orgasmic response, but I decided it was a bit too racy.
Yes, it is a bit.
which I fully agree with. But
Yeah.
anyway, calling it autonomous sensory meridian response gives it a sort of scientific credibility, which it may or may not deserve. You know, it sounds very scientific, doesn't it?
It does.
Anyway, it's basic. What is it? Well, it's a tingling sensation that usually begins on the scalp and moves down the back of the neck and upper spine. It's a pleasant form of paresthesia. It has been compared with auditory tactile synesthesia and may overlap with frisson. Well, basically what it means is it's sounds and images and also physical contact, obviously, but that relaxes you, that reduces your tension and helps you to get to sleep. And I come on to that a little bit later. But this is this little image I got from. Anyway, so here it is. It's a tingling, soothing sensation that typically begins on your upper spine. And it can be triggered by certain sounds like whispering, tapping, and crinkling. And we'll come on to some examples of it. Or visual stimuli like watching somebody open packaging gently. There are now 500,000 ASMR YouTube channels and more than 25 million ASMR videos. It is huge. It's the third most popular search item on YouTube. Remember, who of you were, Jackie, you were in touch, weren't you? Do you remember the performance we did for the elders?
Yes, yeah.
Which was a very, it predicted what was going to happen, didn't it?
Oh, yes, it was uncanny.
The subtitle was Imagine a World Without Touch.
Yeah.
That's what we immediately went into after it, isn't it?
Yes, awful. It was our fault.
But I remembered thinking, of course, touch is the most important ASMR sort of response, because somebody's actually physically touching you. And I can remember as a child when I was having my tonsils out, which was very popular doing it when we were kids. I don't know if anybody else had them out. I must have been about 5 or 6, and I was at Park Hospital, and they gave me a pre-anesthetic, but I was feeling very, very scared. And they walked me down. They put me on a stretcher and pushed me down the corridor to the operating theatre. And a nurse just puts the palm of her hand on my forehead, and it was like all the anxiety just drained out. It was. I remember it to this day. I can remember the color of the walls there. It's something like that can have an immediate physical response to you that you perhaps didn't expect. And that, I think, is the closest I can imagine to ASMR responses. But anyway, so it's extremely popular. The modern history of it, I suppose, started in 2007 with this person who put this posting up to a particular board, and it says, it's the weird sensation feels good. I get this sensation sometimes. There's no real trigger for it. It just happens randomly. It's been happening since I was a kid, and I'm 21 now. Some examples of what it seems has caused it to happen before are as a child whilst watching a puppet show, and when I was being read a story to, as a teenager when I was a classmate did me a favor, and when a friend drew on the palm of my hands with markers. Sometimes it happened for no reason at all. And this started off a huge correspondence about people having similar feelings. I don't know whether any of you have had something that is similar to that. It's a sort of a physical response to an auditory or visual stimulus. That's really what it's about. But
yeah, all the time, Bernard. Extremely sensitive.
Yeah, I can imagine that some people are more prone to it than others, I think, and especially with you having such a feel for sound and music, you can imagine it having a very big impact on you. Anyway, so what triggers? I got this. This is just when I put what triggers ASMR, and these are some of the things that are happening. And it can be something very, very simple. It can be a softly spoken or whispering voice, listening to a person blow or exhale into a microphone, and listening to mouth sounds, such as a quiet clicking of a tongue or tisking. So this is what triggers ASMR. But even before that, you've got things like Bob Ross. Do you know Bob Ross, the painter?
Yes, I've seen him.
He's extremely popular. He's got 5.6 million subscribers to his YouTube channel. And there's now a whole genre of people role-playing being Bob Ross. Can you see the guy on the left? Because it's seen as ASMR.
Through here and distinctly come through that. See? And it pushes that little thing right on back into the background. That easy. There we go.
Oh, yes. Scraping noise.
Just put in a few little shadows here and there. There. Push that one right on back. Bring that together. Maybe there's a little shadow hides right in there. See? Anywhere you want a little indentation in your mountain, put a shadow there. That's all it takes. Watch here. Clean, dry brush.
So you can see what they mean, can't you?
Yes.
There is something very soothing about watching his painting shows. It's not to do with you necessarily getting your own paint set out and painting along with him, which he encourages you to do. It's just soothing, something very soothing about his voice and the sounds that he's making. So you could say that that was an earlier version of ASMR. And it seems to activate regions of the brain associated with calming, sleep-inducing hormones. And what we talked about on Touch, if you remember, Jackie, hormones like dopamine and oxytocin.
Yes.
Because I can remember doing that because I was one of the ones being affected by oxytocin. I think it was Lorraine who sort of just touched me on the head. And that, I actually did feel the oxytocin.
The hit.
The hit, yeah. ASMR could help cure your depression, anxiety, or insomnia. It is claimed. And then going back further, there's Bjork talking about her TV in 2007. 3.5 million views. Is this unintentional ASMR? Have a listen.
It is Christmas time and I'm sitting here by my TV. I've been watching it very much lately because I'm on a holiday and I've been seeing all those programs about all sorts of things. About Icelandics being very happy about Christmas, very gay and also very serious and spiritual. But now I'm curious. I've switched the TV off, and now I want to see how it operates, how it can put me into all those weird situations. See. This is what it looks like. Look at this. This looks like a city, like a little model of a city. And all the houses which are here, and streets. This is maybe an elevator to go up there. And here are all the wires. These wires. They really take care of all the electrons when they come through here. They take care of that. They are powerful enough to get all the way through here. I read that in a Danish book. So you become hypnotized. So all that's on TV, it just goes directly into your brain and you stop judging if it's right or not. So you just swallow and swallow. This is what an Icelandic poet told me once. And I became...
Can you see
That's lovely.
There's something really peaceful about it, isn't there?
Yes.
It's to do with the sibilance of it's using the tongue with that
Yes.
Yeah.
and as children, that's what mothers and fathers, that's what we've all done with our children. At some point, it's the softness and the breathiness of and especially with the Icelandic accent and the Northern European accent, where the it's all soft sibilance.
Yes, you're right. And she also looks like a little elf as well.
Yes, she's so pretty. It's very soothing.
Very soothing, very soothing. But anyway, this was something that was also very famous, which was McKenna Kelly, who was aged 13 at the time. and she attracted over 13.9 million views. And this honeycomb video, which was taken down, I didn't want to show any part of it. I don't think it's the right thing to do. It was removed by YouTube amid concerns that eating the sticky food, in this case, it was honeycomb, raw honeycomb, could be perceived as sexual. And the 13.9 million views. It's just hard to take that in, isn't it? That number of people would have been.
Gosh.
Her mother's, she's got her own subscription channel called Life with Mac, McKenna Kelly. And her mother says she's vowing to quit the platform in protest against what she says are overly strict content guidelines that have resulted in several of the videos being removed. But I think they're probably right to have done it, personally.
Yes, because she's a child.
Yes, exactly. And there is no way getting away from it. There is something sort of at least sensual about it, and maybe even sexual about it. So you can't ignore that component, which was from Virginia Woolf, Mrs. Dalloway, which was a play that she wrote in 1925. And this is just an excerpt from it. A plane is skywriting an advertisement. A nurse reads the letters out to Septimus one by one as they appear. K. R, said the nursemaid, and Septimus heard her say, K. R, close to his ear, deeply, softly, like a mellow organ, but with a roughness in her voice like a grasshopper's, which rasped his spine deliciously and sent running up into his brain waves of sound which, concussing, broke. A marvelous discovery indeed that the human voice in certain atmospheric conditions, for one must be scientific, above all scientific, can quicken trees into life. So you can see an element of ASMR there, can't you, with the Virginia Woolf one, of the sounds that's doing. That's Virginia Woolf, another precursor. Nobody really can say for sure whether ASMR, how real ASMR is. It's been compared to synesthesia, which is a condition where you experience a mix-up in your sensory information. So words can lead you. I know a friend of mine has got this, where when people speak, he can see the colors that they're speaking in. So it might be music or it might be color. I imagine that's quite common amongst musicians. Bill, would you say? Oh, he's gone.
It's absolutely. I mean, Scriabin wrote most of his pieces with colours in mind, and Bliss with his colour symphony. There's loads of it. Yeah.
Right. And also, it's hard to prove it. As somebody said, it's hard to headgasm in a laboratory. I'll leave you to work that one out. It's also the opposite of ASMR is misophonia, which is a term coined in 2001 to describe an aversion to particular sounds. I definitely got this one. The one I really dislike are knives being scraped across a plate. You know, the sound that makes.
Chalk squeaking on a blackboard.
Oh, definitely. Yes, that's awful, isn't it? Or somebody
jarring. Yes, sort of jarring.
Yeah. Has anybody got any particular misophonia that affects them? You've mentioned chalk, Jackie. Any others? I've mentioned a fork on a plate, scraping on a plate. No.
Balloons. Yeah. Scratching balloons.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah. That's sort of it. And also, there's the fear it might explode as well at any point, which doesn't help. No, it didn't help me with that. I seem to be particularly. In fact, something I don't like, which is a really weird one, is some men's laughter. When they laugh really loud, I found it really, really painful. But there you go. Anyway, we're all part of this Tingle community, in that it claims that it produces all these benefits, relaxes you, reduces anxiety, lowers your heart rate, improves your sleep, and improves your attention. Well, as a sacrifice to science, last night, I downloaded one of these ASMR tapes and listen, because what I normally do, I do have problems getting to sleep. I don't know whether anybody else has, or waking up in the middle of the night.
Waking up. Oh, waking up.
Yeah.
Yes.
what I normally do is I with an earbud in, just one which is on Bluetooth, I listen to either podcasts or audiobooks as a relaxation, and I've got them to switch off after half an hour, so it isn't too bad. And even so, if it's something like a podcast, they might start off with some sort of jingly music, which is the last thing you want. So it doesn't work too well. So I thought I'd try it, and just to report back that I listened to it, I fell asleep, and I didn't wake up till 6 o'clock, which for me is good. So I'm not, that's a sample of one, so it's not necessary, but I'm definitely going to try it again just to see if it helps. It's like with a lot of these things, if they're not necessarily proven, it doesn't mean they can't do it, but you've got to see if it works for you, haven't you? That's the main thing. So if anybody's interested in trying it, we can talk about that perhaps later if we have time.
Just while you're on sleep,
yeah.
The thing I can never understand is, how does my body know when the big finger has reached 7? Because I wake up every day with 7 o'clock. How does it know?
I'll tell you one thing, it's better than not waking up at all.
Yes, of course. No, well, I did that during the night.
So, and you find that there are 5.2 million in the past. Search interest for ASMR has increased by over 140%. It's the third most popular YouTube search worldwide. Now, this is probably the most successful ASMR YouTuber around, called Gibby, who specializes in whispering and tapping, and has got 4.7 million subscribers. And this particular video has 2.4 million views, and her estimated annual income is $1.3 million a year.
Wow.
So let's see what she's like.
Tonight is a combination of a few of my favorite things. Tapping, scratching, a bit of rambling, and we're gonna make this a little dim for optimal sleep. So, why don't we start with this? This is a bit of cork that was half of a coaster. That looked like toast. I call it my toaster coaster. I have like 4 of them. But I actually, the rest of them are not in my room. So we're gonna go with the broken one today. And the reason that I wanted to make this video is because my nails are the longest they've ever been. The real, yay, go GB. And I wanted to experiment with some tapping and scratching before I inevitably break one of them, so.
So what did you think of that?
I didn't like it at all.
Spectacularly irritating.
Yeah, the tapping and the nail.
It's a bit creepy.
They're definitely creepy. I just wanted it to stop.
Well, I found it very relaxing.
Yeah, honestly, that's I find that amazing. The elephant in the room is this business of the context and sexuality that comes into these kinds of sounds as well. And we can all beat about the bush with this, but there's a definite response. The human intimacy. You're talking about the communication through intimacy here.
Yes,
cheese. What I found, if you want to go to sleep, I don't anyway. I don't want to go to sleep watching a video. Anyway, but I didn't use hers last night, but the one I did, I found very relaxing, because also you didn't have to attend to it, because what was being said, what didn't make any sense anyway. It was just the sounds that were the important thing. So
I wonder, Bill, if we'd been watching a man sort of whispering and talking in that way, whether the female members of the group might have reacted slightly differently. That's
yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's a woman, so it doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah,
and and this particular video, when you look at it, there's all positive. It's the facial expressions, the softness,
sensory,
and
meridian
it is
response.
Sensual. But
ASMR.
And if that was a man doing it, it would depend for me as well on the facial expressions linked to the voices, but the actual sounds, tapping and so on are secondary to that human
TV
content.
set.
To know
to its
what
basic
proportion
wires
of
and
her
bones.
subscribers are men.
Mackenzie Kelly's true, and also how
Mrs.
many
Dalloway's.
ASMR people are men. And I'm going to give an
cure for
example of one of the
insomnia?
most popular ones as well.
Wishing
So
on a star.
it is
Now we have
mainly
Miss
women
Paphonia,
ASMRists,
with a mix of
but
sensory
there are
templates,
quite a lot of men too.
like chalking on a
How many are
scratchy
there?
blackboard.
5.2
Wow,
million in
that
this is in
balloons
2016.
great.
25 million.
So if you have
ASMRs in
uneven
2020,
slumber,
an average
Bernard's
increase
Cure
of about
will bring you
40%.
sleep. ASMR.
So here's
is the
another one
answer.
from ASM Bakery.
It beats the crap out of counting sheep.
I find that one better in some ways. I don't know about you. Anybody, any views on that one?
It was busier. It was a lot busier, wasn't it?
Yeah, the reason as well, she was just showing the different ones. You don't have to go through just a gamut of them each time. Those are just showing which ones you'd like. You can if you're a brush person, you can just listen to brush noises.
And that I always notice the word so many million subscribers.
Yeah.
Subscribe meaning, do we have to pay to watch this?
No, they're free. They're free.
Oh, right. Okay.
Just YouTube.
It's
Anyway.
also very exaggerated sounds that you wouldn't hear naturally.
I read that as Mr. Bakery, but it isn't. It's as an ASMR Bakery. There are also these ones. I've got examples of these as well. Oh, maybe I'll do the clinical ASMR one because that's done by a man, and it's role playing ones where you're pretending to be a clinician in some kind of ways, and you have natural ones as well. So let's just have a quick look at that one.
In the back we have a little data connection. That is the connection I was referring to. That will connect it to the serial port on the computer board.
You can see the example, and there's a nature one like this one I had here is just a fire. I do love open fires, actually. It's a sound I really do like. I'll just maybe just briefly go into this. I love this one. This is a nature ASMR. But I love the effort that she's gone to make her setup, make her like a little elf in the as a herbologist in the greenhouse. But I've not bothered with getting and she used natural sounds as well. So that's another variation of ASMR. The Design Museum had an exhibition of it that went on till April this year, and there've been various criticisms of that. And some people are very, very opposed to ASMR. There was an article in the Spectator which I haven't got time to go on to. And this is the one I wanted to show you, so I've got time to show this one. This is Dr. Zeitgeist. So we've only got 2 minutes left. I'm afraid it took longer than I expected, but I think you've got the idea of it. It's a fascinating area, isn't it? Whether you like it or not,
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
And as I said, I found it very helpful last night for getting to sleep. So for me,
Well, I found that I was dozing off then.
I was going to ask you that, Susan. Whether
So in getting to sleep, you don't watch it before you're going to bed.
No,
you watch it during the day and remember it. Is that what you say?
No, you put it on your phone and listen to it
when it's sound.
With sound. You just listen.
Oh, I don't think I can do that.
Well, somebody can do it for you.
Right.
That last one.
Graham, another trip.
That last.
Definitely not me.
Graham, Dr. ASMR. Graham.
Yeah, that last one, Bernard. I mean, that to me, and I can't say that I remember it, but it could be womb-like. It's the sounds that the child hears at the point where they're developing in the depths of the womb, and the comfort and the warmth and the associations. I mean, we shouldn't dismiss those things. Absolutely. And it's interesting that male guy, the doctor, was speaking at the same vocal level as the woman earlier, the whispering soft sounds. And if you had asked that woman doing the thing with the sounds to speak at normal vocal level, there would have been no intimate feeling there at all.
Yes, Bill.
Yes, absolutely.
So you just put your phone on your pillow.
Yeah, Shaz does it every night. The phone, listening to book reading to go to sleep.
Well, thank you everyone for coming.
Right.
Yes.
Autonomous sensory meridian response. ASMR. A song by Village People. Bob Ross on Sky Arts painting. A church with a rasping steeple. The songstress Bjork then appears, with dulcet Icelandic tones, stripping down a TV set to its basic wires and bones. Mackenzie Kelly's Honeycomb, Mrs. Dalloway's K and R. A certain cure for insomnia, or wishing on a star. Now we have Miss Ophonia, with a mix of sensory templates, like chalking on a scratchy blackboard, or how that balloon scrape grates. So if you have uneven slumber, Bernard's cure will bring you sleep. ASMR is the answer. It beats the crap out of counting sheep.